Okay, let's take a look at how we can get a free Black Lion key every week. The only thing that we need to be able to do this is a free character slot. Now, lots of people who've been playing the game for a while are probably going to be aware of this method, but if you're newer to the game, this may not be something you're aware of, and it is something really quick and easy that lots of people do every week in order to get a free key. So we're not too worried about our character's appearance or anything like that. What is important in this is you want to pick this option by common folk. We're not going to be going further than level 10, so nothing else really matters. We need to give our character a name. So this is going to load us into the tutorial. Take this because this will help us in a minute. Now, this may not be something you have access to if you don't have particular versions of the game. So, for example, I get this because I've got, many years ago, I bought the Heroic Edition. But essentially, at some point, you'll need bank access to do this really efficiently. Because you want to use something to get you to level 10 as quickly as possible. You can just level to level 10 and it'll add about 5-10 minutes on to doing this. It's not actually the end of the world if you don't have one of these. So we're going to skip most of the opening tutorial by just skipping the garrison. Now, if you're really lucky, we're not going to be here. People will already be fighting the elemental or have just finished and you'll actually skip the entire thing. We are going to have to take part in the fight, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to take part in the fight. Sometimes you skip more than others doing this. What I want to do is fight these centaurs. It actually may have been about the same speed going the other way when it's like this, actually. But sometimes you do save quite a bit of time by going that way. Especially because if you get there at a certain point, you might get there after the elemental started and then you've got to wait for it to reset again. So going around ensures that you'll never get stuck in that, essentially, where you need to wait for it to reset. Right, while we're... What if I wanted to use capital H, don't I? Let's get rid of that, and I'm going to, while we wait, because they'll kill that guy, no problem. I'm going to withdraw, if I can find it, just one of these level 20 boost scores. So you can see I've got quite a few different ones that I'll just use over time. And you can use Tomes of Knowledge, etc. You essentially just want to get to level 10 as quickly as possible, and those level up scores will get you there the fastest. Ideally, you want to use the ones that give, like I'm using level 20 ones first before I've got a level 61 in there, for example. And I'll save that for if I actually make a character I'm going to use. I think we can use it. Oh, we can use it here. So may as well. We can be make it a little bit more efficient by clearing some of this out while we fight the elemental. I'm just going to accept the level up rewards while we're doing this fight. It really is a kind of turn your brain off and fight. I actually don't even know if you can lose. Okay, and that's the end. So sometimes you get here and you just see this and skip straight ahead. You don't have to do any of that fighting. That's the ideal scenario, and it saves you about a minute or two. It doesn't save you a huge amount of time, but that's what we want to happen, ideally, when we're going through here. We'll skip this. We're not interested in any of the story. We're going to move ahead back to Divinity's Reach. I'm going to take a very specific path through Divinity's Reach. Now the things you pick from these don't matter all that much. There's one or two places like there where I picked the copper doubloon because it's worth a few silver more than the other options. But in general, it's not going to make a huge difference what you pick from these level up rewards, because you are just going to delete this character anyway. Well, I am, you might not. If you've got lots of character slots left. But in general, eventually you're going to get to the point where you are just deleting these characters. So we've come this way because we want to unlock this waypoint for later. We had to kind of run through the city anyway to get to Salma District, which this portal will take us to. So now we've got most of the waypoints that we need going ahead. Well, into this instance, we've collected all our level up rewards while walking to kind of speed that process up a little bit. I'm going to equip this greatsword. So I'll click these just in case we do come across anything. If you prefer the hammer moveset, you can equip. In fact, I will equip the hammer because it does more damage. But in general, it doesn't matter. The greatsword's fine as well. So it's going to kill some bandits. There's a couple of named ones that have a little bit more health, but you're not really in any threat in here at all. And while we're fighting him, I'm just going to train some signets because we'll equip them in a minute, just to speed up our killing of these bandits. Right, we've just got someone else to go over in this corner. Okay, and then we've got two to fight upstairs, but they do fight as one at a time. Okay, and then we'll have a little cutscene, and then we'll have to fight the leader. Again, you're really not in any danger from these fights. Like, I'm not even avoiding the mechanics, and you can see how high my health still is. It's really a bit of a kind of turn your brain off. You can be watching something else while you're doing this, because our only goal is to get that free key on this each week. So we're not too bothered about anything else. And we'll just take rewards there that give us more power, because that's going to increase our damage a little bit. Okay, so now we want to go to Village of Shaymar. We'll speak to Francis. He's going to tell us to go and deal with the bandits, and well, to go and get the supplies back. We'll just delete the stuff that we can salvage. I'm going to save all these old bags and stuff we can open until the end. they won't add much to the overall profit of the run. It's the key that's really the goal, but you will get maybe a few copper as well on top of that. Now, in this, you are going to run across quite a lot of bandits, but realistically, you can just run past them. We're not really interested. It doesn't matter as far as completion's concerned. We just want to get to the end and get the medicine. There are a couple of people we are going to have to kill, but these guys don't matter.
When do we get to see some action? Is it just me?
It's that do-gooder from the bar. Recruits, kill this clown!
Okay, so this fight we do need to have because we need to get Twitchy Jake to about half health. And then it's going to trigger the next bit. So he's going to surrender. Medicine. And now we'll finish Jake off. And then she'll talk to us. We'll just leave. We don't need to kill that remaining bandit. We gain nothing from it. Now we need to go back to Lieutenant Francis. We'll go to the Fields waypoint just south of Shaymar. Speak to Francis. And then we want to go back to the Salma district in Divinity's Reach. I'm just going to go upstairs.
They're upstairs. Take a left. First door on the right. Quick.
Okay, I'm just going to go in this room here. Skip some dialogue. And then go downstairs to speak to Logan. Again, we'll skip this. You just need to wait a second now for some reason for him to finish saying this. Accept our rewards. Again, doesn't really matter what you accept there. Now we're going to want to go back to the Shaymar waypoint where we went last time. And we're going to go through the graveyard to where the bandits are hiding out. Although you can't use mounts in the story missions, in these little in-between bits where you travel into the mission start, don't forget you can use your mounts if you've got an edition that has mounts. And just to make traversing these areas a little bit faster. Okay, so we need to kill this bandit by the door. I just need to interact with him to get a uniform. Speaks the guard, skip some dialogue. And then I'm going to get information from these people. So the first one, Uptown Johnny's just below here. We can just talk to him straight away. Doesn't really matter what options you pick, just keep clicking the top one. Now to speak to Blaze, we need to collect his fuses. So we're going to take care of these hatchlings. And it's this box here that you want to interact with. If you interact with any of the others, you'll summon an ooze and have to fight it. So just make sure you interact with the right one, otherwise it'll just slow you down slightly. It's nothing to really worry about. Okay, and then Delia wants to fight us. Okay, and that's the end of that. We don't even actually need to speak to her, we can just exit. And we want to go to the Palace waypoint. This is why we took the path straight down through the portal to get this for this point and another story section in a moment. This makes it a little bit faster for us. I'm going to go into the Seraph HQ.
Here's our favorite new undercover operative now. Let's see if the hero Shaymore can
I'm going to do the orphanage.
Ted thinks we can.
Again, we'll just accept the one with power. It might increase our damage just a tiny bit. It'll make a huge difference at this point in the game though. We want to go back to the Selma waypoint. Okay, so as soon as we go in, the building we actually want to enter is just on the right.
Anyone know how it started?
Orphanages this way. Keep moving.
Right down the door.
Look at him run.
Yeah, we do need to kill all of the bandits in here this time.
Adrenaline rising.
Map time, kids. How many bombs does it take to set a Seraph on fire?
If you stand in the right place, you can leave them both. Providing you use a melee build.
Just one more confirmation of how great I am.
Get back! These children have suffered enough.
You want a piece of me? Come
Stay
and
behind
get
me,
it.
children. For Mir's help, I will protect you.
So that mechanic there is probably one of the main ones you want to dodge just because you'll lose a couple of seconds when he uses it. But you will only gain a few seconds if you take the time to dodge it. Okay, so that's all these guys done. Need to go outside. And then there's not much we can do for a minute. We need to wait for these guys to come down.
Thanks to you.
Speak to Logan. While we're doing that, we'll just see if there's anything here we can rid of. We can't break them down, so we'll just get rid of them. Okay, so that's that dialogue done, and we just need to go over to the hospital now. Speak to Lieutenant Francis. Oh, I've got the long way around.
What's the situation here? We got all the people.
Pause for a second, and then we'll skip some dialogue. Okay, skip this, and then we're up to the final story mission.
Ready for more.
Back to the Seraph HQ, to Alice Waypoint. Okay, so we need to wait for these to stop speaking.
He's a good man.
As Anissa stops speaking, we'll be able to interact with Logan.
And on everyone else. The Queen doesn't expect perfection. Why do you?
Okay, now he's intractable. To Anise. And then we just want to go down into the cells. You don't really need to rush here because we've got to wait for them to come down anyway. Go in there and we will wait. These points where you're waiting, you could be like opening the bags and things like that. You can be doing things during these times when you're waiting to speed it up just a little bit. But obviously it's not going to make a huge difference. You're just doing inventory management. Okay, so skip this dialogue. Wait a second before you go out, just to make the fight a little bit quicker overall.
Rush them!
You can wait.
For some reason they've not gone into the shield formations. Bit of a... They should all be in a line, but for some reason that hasn't triggered. 17's not got into a shield either. I'm not sure why. That was a little bit buggy. I'm not sure what was happening there with the thing, but the encounter's mostly going as it would do. Just they'd have all been in a line and 17 would have been behind them under a shield. Other than that, it's essentially the same. It's happening. We're fighting them in the same order. And done. Just need to wait for a second. Skip this. And we will have our guaranteed free key. You can only get one of these a week. If you do this again in the week one more time, or any more times, you won't get another one. You can see there, I have a timer on for when the keys will reset. So it's every week at reset. That took, according to my recording timer, 20 minutes, almost exactly. And as you can see, we got a couple of other rewards, which are neither here nor there, really. You'll just want to break them down and then store whatever you get out of them. But yeah, that's it. You can do that every single week for a free Black Lion key. And good luck with the loot when you use them.